Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5. Over 10 years ago, as the Dark Knight changed things forever, we lost the actor who made it happen. Heath Ledger delivered the ultimate performance that left us eternally wanting more. While we all thought we saw the last of his betrayal as the Clown Prince of Crime, two men unearthed amazing footage of what he might have done next.
The job falls to us to comb over the files and documented exploits of patient 4479 in this ultimate tribute to the role of a lifetime. Let's start today's session with Arkham Bound. Whew! Alright, Joker Blogs, Dragon, oh my god, we are going in some crazy directions with these vlog type things. This is like our first major spin-off of the animated Batcave, and it's just to re-emphasize, folks, just because it's only our second episode. Dragon, this is like the literal years in the making. Like, this is like master plan territory.
This is literally the time gap between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, that's crazy.
Roughly 8 years. So.
Oh man. All right, so Dragon, let's just dive right into it. Of course, we covered. I uploaded the first episode just a few days ago, so that should be up on the channel. So let's get into Arkham Bound, episode 2. Dragon, I'm super into this. I mean, it's not really that much of a surprise for you, I'm sure, but you know, found footage, Ledger Joker, conspiracy theories, all that good stuff. I'm pretty much here for it. I only have one nitpick, and it's not even like really a nitpick at all. It's totally unfair, but it's just a little distracting. The fact that the actress playing Harley kind of sounds a lot like Tamara Chambers from Channel Awesome. Like,
yeah, that is unfair.
I know it's totally unfair, and I'm not going to hold it against it. And you know, Tamara's fine, I guess, but. I don't know. I'm interested to see where we take Harley from here. At the moment, I'm obviously far more intrigued by the Joker. You know, I'm sure that the Harley thing is a long-term subplot the show's got set up. But of course, I'm just along for the ride. That's the fun of this thing too. Just to emphasize, much like the animated Batcave, I have not watched a single one of these things. So I'm as we're doing episode by episode, you're basically getting my first reactions, and Dragon, you've seen the whole kid and caboodle, so you're, you know, again, much like the Batcave, you're kind of our guide on this one.
Oh yeah. By the way, I think the whole Tamara Chambers thing, I think that's going to fade as we go further along, I think. So I think we're going to reach a point where you're going to be able to make, kind of get that. I think while she's off camera, you're really kind of getting that. So
that could be, but do you hear it though? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, yeah, I hear in the early two, yes, and I think, I mean, I don't know if it's going to fade necessarily.
I mean, like I said, it's not like they can do anything about it. The actress sounds the way she sounds, you know.
Yeah,
but...
yeah. You know, again, she came first, by the way, way before Tamara. So you know, if anything, you know, that Tamara's doing, you know, Kira Westberg.
Oh God. But
all right, but yes, let me give you a little bit of context in Arkham Bound. Not a whole lot, but just to kind of help along the journey here. So again, episode 2, very much you know, kind of further setup and context for the series as the logical Dark Knight aftermath. I kind of explained a little bit of that to you, basically with kind of the prologue that unfortunately no one's really going to have access to, but. Basically, this is where it kind of naturally comes up in the story versus just kind of being in text on the screen along with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we set up you know, the story point of why the Joker is you know, is in therapy and in his mind Arkham bound. A little fun, just a couple of visual things to talk about. Again, so if you're watching this from the very first time, you'd have, like, again, this is before you have the therapy begins versus the pilot, where the pilot is very much, think about it, you watch this for the first time, you have the pilot, and then you have this episode, which, yeah, we've upgraded the Joker's look. We kind of, I think the X factor in that very much, the wig ties it all together quite nicely. The wig
it does.
Really,
it looks really good, yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, it's like I get as a guy who's tried dressing up as the Joker a couple times for a couple Halloweens. I gotta tell you, the wig is key, and
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I still have pictures of when I did Joker for the Dark Knight Midnight screening. And I gotta say, Dragon, I'm still proud of the makeup job I did on that thing. I think the makeup looks impeccable.
yeah,
But yeah, there was nothing I could do with that hair, man. Like it's just straight up like fucking high school teenager mop top.
it's hard to it's hard to nail. And seriously, they
Yeah,
found I think possibly
yeah.
the most perfect Joker wig I've ever seen because it's quite seamless.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so also there's very much if you really look closely, there's kind of an experimental kind of scar process, and they're kind of figuring out, testing out different things as they go along. It's first episode again. The pilot's very much kind of adhered on. You can very clearly see it, and it got a lot better as the kind of episode 2 onwards. It kind of figured out until basically what you saw with Therapy Begins. We got basically the reshot pilot where it's kind of where they kind of found out. It looks more painted on, but perfectly painted on than anything. Like imperfectly painted. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of put on there seamlessly, where basically there's kind of a process of prosthetics to wax sculpts to flesh makeup.
I mean, that to me has always been the appeal of the Ledger Joker design is the fact that it literally just looks like I don't want to say an amateur makeup job, but it very much looks like like street level war paint.
Certainly, but I mean, again, I'm saying there's that, which is that's an art form in itself. But I'm saying getting the scars underneath the makeup.
Oh yeah,
that's the tricky part.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately they kind of found a way to use the makeup paint job within that to make it sell. I think that's where they ended up down the line. You'll see. It's kind of a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you're going to see some really impressive scar stuff. I mean, it's already quite seamless, but you'll see what I mean as we go very further along. But anyway. And one thing in this episode always bugged me. I could never find out what exactly the deal was with this, and always bothered me. It's a little nitpick if you really look. I wonder if you notice this. Around the Joker's neck, he has this blue tape.
I did not notice that.
I call it like the infamous blue tape because what I think happened is they were either when they were what.
Oh, I see it now that you point it out. Yeah, I never noticed it before.
And it's like only in this episode, which is so baffling to me. That's the crazy thing. Is like this one time, I want to say either when they were applying the makeup, they forgot to take it off and they shot all their stuff. And he's like, oh, God, do we really want to go back and shoot all of that again? Right. It was either a makeup thing or like a lighting thing. I don't know what the purpose of it to help them get the lighting just right. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's like the one that's like the big infamous takeaway from the episode for it. That blasted blue tape. I mean, it's fine. It's just like it's there. It's like the one scene. All right, and also I want to talk about this is going to bleed into a lot of the other episodes. I'm just going to get out of the way now. Is when they kind of cracked it. They cracked the writing formula this episode. So there's a formula to the Joker blogs. The formula, at least in the kind of the infancy, is the way they crack kind of the classic Joker kind of writing here, we have like that classic Joker thing of we have the laughs at the start, some funny stuff, and then you have some jokes that are going to make you feel guilty for laughing. Very much like the way to writing the Joker perfectly is you're going to laugh and then hate yourself for laughing, that's the middle chunk, and then you're going to get creeped out. And then to be continued is you're gonna be so addicted, like, oh God, I gotta know what happens next after you have that creepy endpoint, which very much is here. All right, okay. So all that said, let's just dive into it. Let's talk Arkham Bound.
Okay, so we start with the Joker, wearing Harley's glasses, I'm sorry, we really quickly get Dragon. Do we have the blood title screen every time? Is that like a recurring thing?
We have a title screen every time. In the initial ones, it's pretty much blood every time, but then it's going to evolve.
Gotcha. And then we see Joker with Harley's glasses, and Dragon. I love that image. Like that image to me, it almost looks like a painting, like a self-portrait. It's like, oh boy, like these two physical beings are going to merge into one entity at some point.
The glasses,
I don't know, something about that imagery really stuck with me.
It's a great symbol of the power balance kind of shifting in Joker's perspective, and so there's a great through line through this, Tiki. It's just my own read on it. It's that as there's an intimacy build that is you kind of dread as it comes into fruition. As in, each episode progressively, you are going to get more Harleen Quinzel, and so like first episode, she's completely off camera. Now we're getting her glasses, and there's going to be a little more. And again, the idea is like the more intimate, you get more Harley and Joker, the more Harleen and Joker you get in a scene together. Like the more you see of her, even if it's just incremental. So by the time you're going to fully see her, you're going to be bad stuff happens. It's like it's like a dread. It's like the more Harleen you see, the more intimacy that kind of embodies, which means again that these two guys are getting intimate. That's the mad love at play. It's not good.
I like that approach though.
It's good stuff. All right, so we learned that patient 4479 has agreed to more tape sessions, and we addressed the prescribed medication towards the Joker here. He's been taken off the lithium for a combination of I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciations, the Depakote and Seroquel.
Yeah.
So they actually consulted doctors on this show, and they basically kind of asked them what the Joker after the Dark Knight would be prescribed, and this is what they arrived at. It would be Depakote and Seroquel, which I don't know if you want to feel this or not.
No, I'd rather not.
Fine. Well, they're it's kind of I believe for bipolar and depression, from what I understand, in terms of what they're prescribed for. Okay, so. We have, of course, this hilarious response from Joker. The lines in the dialogue is it just fluidly just comes in. If it was already good in episode 1, it becomes perfected by episode 2. Riddling this, riddling that. If I knew it was this easy to get free drugs, I would have done this years ago. He just says it right into the camera. So Harley's asking, wait, why are you saying this into the camera?
I got a guy who's going to upload all of this onto YouTube.
Which meta gag, but also a plot point for the found footage aspect of the show.
Yes, I was very intrigued by that line. I was like, ooh, we got a meta plot going on.
Which, I'm going to tell you, there is a payoff to this as well. Don't expect don't expect a Mephisto who's who thing happening here, but just there is a payoff, and it is somebody you may or may not.
Mephisto is literally everyone and everything, all right? The sooner you accept that, the better. Mephisto is all of us. Right. All right. I'm sorry.
Oh, but seriously, it's there's a kind of a cute there's a cute payoff, and it's going to go somewhere really really interesting. Okay. I think so. Okay, so then we have like one of the great moments. Again, this is kind of the first kind of Mad Lovian moment, if you will, outside of the glasses handoff. You have lovely eyes. They go well with the rest of your face.
I mean, this is it's still very, very, very one-sided, though.
True, you're right. You're right about that. But this is like how he's kind of like it's like Joker's version of getting more flies with honey than anything else. So they go well with the rest of your face. It's not like I want to pop them out of your skull and carry them on a keychain. That's a compliment. Of course, that's kind of one of the catchphrases of the show. That's a compliment. It's just kind of like the twisted. I love seeing the twisted charisma of the Joker and kind of building the relationship one side as it is at this juncture. But it's just kind of seeing him kind of put the moves on Harley seemingly very unsuccessfully.
And Harley's just kind of pointing out that it's not going to work.
We're off to a bad start already in the therapy.
Yeah.
This is.
Well, I'm not a morning person.
Okay, so one of my favorite things in the Joker blogs, on the rewatch especially, is that I love that in the example what you just laid out there. Like, I'm not a morning person, and later on, like there's something that keeps it from feeling like home. Joker sets her up for questions that she doesn't take the bait for, and that kind of keeps him on the line. Like, she's not taking the bait here. He's basically he's like, for any therapist, he's like leaving a big old hanging chad for like, ask me more, like feed my ego, that sort of thing. Like, let me monologue, where she's not giving into it. I think he respects that about her.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, so basically we exposed. It's been over a month since the last time we saw the last tape. It's been over a month. And how do you spend your days? We learned the Joker basically a week in the life of patient 4479 goes as such. So Mondays he exercises. Tuesdays that's therapy with you. Wednesdays is pizza day. Thursdays I talk to my pal Carmine Falcone.
Okay, really quick. At first I was super charmed by this idea. of like him and Falco and how, talking politics and the weather and the nature of humanity. And then I
Moral
realized, like, oh
degradation
wait,
of
this
society.
is the Nolan Batman universe. Yeah, this is a very one-sided relationship. But right for a split second, I was so charmed by the idea of Falcone and Joker just having this civil, like somewhat friendship with each other.
Oh yeah, I love that. It stops you in your tracks the moment you think that. Just,
right.
Just great. The moral degradation of society. He usually brings up these anecdotes like Scarecrow. I think it's genius writing and off-screen kind of crossover potential of the show demonstrated. Like, yeah, they could meet each other, both in Arkham, and Carmine's probably not better yet. And then there's the matter of Friday. Tiki Joker doesn't like Friday. Why is that?
Because Friday is when the big bads from the DA come in and try and rough him up.
Yeah, Weasel from the DA's office, Vernon Fields. Now, remember this Fields guy, Tiki. Remember Vernon?
I've got the Fields name in my Rolodex, Dragon. Don't you worry.
Good. So he basically the idea is Vernon Fields. He took over for Harvey Dent, which of course Joker thinks that's a shame. Harvey Dent really knew where I was coming from. Well, that's convenient. Lucky me. So Vernon Fields, cool little fun fact. Doesn't really apply to the show at all, but it's kind of cool. Vernon Fields is from The Long Halloween. He had the very pivotal role of he's the guy who was paid off by the mob to switch out the aspirin bottle for the acid bottle. So
gotcha.
So Sal Maroni could splash it Harvey Dent's face. Really cool. They have the kind of work it's like yet another Nolan thing we worked in there from The Long Halloween, but not doing the traditional thing. All right. So basically, the DA's office trying to prove that Joker's sanity so he can go to Blackgate, which for him is to be no bueno for reasons we're going to get into. Or Harley's just asking, well, explain to me where you're coming from. Are you trying to fake insanity? No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Cadence is perfect there.
Certainly. So then again, this is the age-old debate with the Joker, of course. Classic. Is he crazy or is he insane? The question.
I love this like philosophical question, Dragon. It's like, and it's so true. It's almost like a Schrodinger's cat, right?
I know. I love it. That's the thing. You never really want to take a side because everybody's like, my answer is the Joker insane is that Joker has to be insane because we as a society we cannot take a man being sound of mind, being capable of the horrors of this man. He can't be sane or else society crumbles. That's my
that's a very, very fair point. But the whole crazy, that's an interesting question. See, crazy people don't think they're crazy. They think they're getting saner. And so the sane people shouldn't be sane. The sane people should be saying they're actually going a little crazy. Right? Honestly, I hate to say it, but if you think about that, it makes sense.
I know, which is great. That's what I'm saying. They put in the writing so perfectly. I love it. And again, that's how you want to approach it. You want to keep it. There's enough of a point before it when you really think about it. It's kind of like the snake eating its own tail if you think about it too much. But I love it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the Joker would say. Yeah.
So he says he can't go to Blackgate. He just can't handle it. Hartley kind of calls him out, like, "Oh, you can't go to Blackgate because you killed off the majority of the prisoners on the ferry."
He attempted to kill.
Yeah, he tried
half the inmates.
Right. Yeah.
Well, no, I was thinking more of my delicate features and feathery hair being manhandled in the shower, but I never thought of that. And again, I absolutely buy that because Joker, it's all about the ego before his own safety. He'd be fine in prison, but that'd be more worried about the reputation and stuff like that. So it's the ego. And again, he's just really saying things for the camera at this point. Stuff.
And just let's face it, Arkham is like his home away from home. He doesn't want to leave a place that plush.
Exactly. It's kind of like it's like the Club Med Federal.
Exactly.
To him, it's like he's kind of hearted. It's like his heart, like his hacienda from Heck. Anyway, so Joker is asking what a professional thinks on the matter. Like, do you basically what does she thinks? And I love what's so brilliant about this episode in this segment is that he's playing his own devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. Like he's saying things that are going against this. He's trying to prove that he isn't insane, which is just very counterintuitive. I love that. There's Joker. Of course, he lives for the debate. He lives for it. So it's the cool confidence on the matter, and just like in kind of almost like a therapist, almost like a word association test of back and forth here within the banter. This is like well, I don't think a sane man would set fire to a fortune. This is my favorite ad from my favorite take from anything in the Nolan movie, by the way. Just the whole, I only burned my half. Problem was, my half was on the bottom.
Yeah, that's great. That's a little wrinkle into that scene for sure.
Which makes sense because he has to start lighting it from the bottom. It's like, yes, like
he didn't want to burn all of the money, but
I didn't think that far ahead. So the DA says, you're no different than any other criminal. Tiki, this is an important moment. Okay, so just the fact that
okay, yeah, I did take note of like the quiet little pause that Joker gives. Like he does that. I just have it written down in my notes, Dragon. Just emphasize he doesn't like that.
Yeah, little telltale.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna remember that. Like the DA says, he's no different than any other criminals. Like he just feels very insulted by that, and that's gonna come back. Again, you remember like the whole this city deserves a better class of criminal. I'm gonna give it to him. So that's very much ingrained in him.
I'll show you.
All right, so then we have like the
one line from the trailer, by the way, that I feel was better in the trailer than the actual movie.
You might be right, but it's
you'll see. I'll show you.
Cool visual though.
All right. Anyways,
so yeah, we get the word association thing pretty much here. Like you stole money, I burned it. You lied to people. I only told little white lies.
Little white lies,
Let's see.
What about destruction of property? Well, who really needs hospitals?
I don't think we really need hospitals. Which again is just so.
It's just like it keeps at first it's like, oh, okay, yeah, an argument could be made, and then it's like, all right, you're just full of shit.
And again, that's the guilt moment though. That's the whole it's funny, but if you really think, oh man, that's a horrible thing to say. You feel guilty for laughing. There's your guilty for laughing moment. That or maybe the whole keychain thing.
Right.
All right, let's see. So then, oh god. Anyways, then we have now we bridge into the creepy next question. Part of our you got to see what happens next in the ending sort of section here, and that is we get to the crescendo, if you will, about what about murder. See, bad guys murder for a profit, or they get their emotions involved. Boils down to revenge or professional. When I kill, it amuses me. Which kind of takes me.
I don't want to say that makes sense in a humanitarian point of view, but it definitely makes sense from his point of view,
It does. It is again, Joker kind of not fitting into any of the established categories, kind of his own kind of nihilist kind of category. And what I like too is that it harkens back to a bit from The Dark Knight, where when Joker's when he's escaping from police custody in The Dark Knight, he's doing the whole. Do you want to, basically people when they die in their last moments, they show you who they truly are. Do you want to know which of your friends are cowards? That kind of takes me back to that line of thinking where he kills to amuse him, and he kind of lives for the truth and the demise, and that's what amuses him, like seeing who people really are when your last moments of life happen.
Sure.
So, and then Harleen's just kind of calling out here, you don't care what the outcome is so long as it amuses you. That's what I think. Sure. I just do what other criminals do, just wearing clown makeup. So then the DA's office, basically the hammer is being drawn, the line is being drawn. The DA's office, won't be convinced of that. Which again is going to come back.
I'm sure it will.
And then we have now is our creepy ending time. So again, we've had kind of our nervous laugh.
Have you ever seen a dead body, Miss Quinzel?
It's a simple question.
I've seen plenty in my time.
So then, so she says yes, but then he has a correction to that yes. I'm not talking about...
Not one you see at funerals. Go ahead.
That's where they go eventually. That's where they end up. I mean, when that little spark of life disappears and all that's left is an inanimate object. Then leads to just kind of this, that again, it's Tiki, that line just breeds the chilling real life serial killer perspective on death. Is that it is all about just seeing the soul go from the body, which is
for sure,
bone chilling. It's like, oh god. And then she gives the very curt answer of just no, I haven't, which then leads to, again, by the way, so I want to mention, I forgot to mention during the whole thing, we got to get in there. So each episode, as we go forward, Joker has a a prop, because we saw him just kind of do a lot of great hand acting in the first episode.
Uh-huh.
And as we go forward, in addition to just the continued body language and the acting, is Joker does wonders with props, and we had the little pill bottle. He's just kind of fiddling with, like a little pill on the table.
Yeah.
Throughout, up again, like probably like the Seroquel and the Demercoat or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we just have like just give him a prop, just give him something to play with each episode. Then we have the creepy kind of like big kind of like stinger of the episode. Stick around with me long enough, and I'm sure you'll get your chance. And he just crunches the pill, which you're not supposed to do. He just crunches the pill.
No, you're not. No, I'm glad you mentioned that because that kind of bothered me.
Relax, Tic Tac, just in case anyone's wondering.
Right.
But yeah, just ending on that creepy note, which again is kind of the promise of stick around me long enough, you'll get your chance, and just that. I think it's the really, but of course we know, given the destiny of
with me,
Harley,
kid, and you'll be a star.
Yep, we know Harley's destiny, and that's probably going to happen on a regular basis. So little pill crunch of like just that's not right.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the ending.
All right, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but except I'm all on board for this thing, man. It's a ride. Let's see where it goes. Strap in, I can't wait for more, dude. It's cool that it's this like, at this point we're just kind of like laying the foundation. I feel like we've got a great road ahead of us.
Oh yeah. Final thought to me, it's very simply a great episode that throws you back into Nolan's world. I think just kind of a lot of referential and kind of tonal things from the Nolan world. We're beginning the arc of 4479 Dr. Quinzel big time, and we're having we're gonna have just the sheer havoc that the Joker is gonna wreak in Arkham. You can just kind of see it just formulating, the cogs turning in his head this episode, and I love it. And it's just in service of ultimately his goal, which again is the namesake of the episode, to be Arkham bound, which is lovely. And again, just the smart. I'm just very impressed by the smart addressment of the Joker, of the old Joker sanity versus insanity debate. Just very well handled. It's a very smartly written episode, and just the tip of the iceberg for what we have coming down the pike. So good stuff continues.
All right. Yeah, for sure. Really excited to get into everything. Should be a good time. And of course, Dragon, just to emphasize also, we're running this kind of concurrently to the animated Batcave, and there as well, like we're building to Justice League. We're pretty close, so it's kind of an interesting kind of two-way street that we're on with those two shows. All right, well, our time's up, and it's time to reseal for further evidence. Until next time, when we attempt to answer the question, is there a method to the madness with the Joker Vlogs case study?
It's a compliment.
You will see. I'll show ya.